That show is for babies! Goo goo, gaga.
Many of you may know that I got flamed on Twitter recently for the heinous crime of analyzing a children's show. First of all, let me just say I am honored, and I appreciate those of you who actually watched and enjoyed my video instead of just crying over the thumbnail. If this is your first time on this channel, I'm Kevin, and I am an autistic adult who has been hyperfixated on a toddler show for the past 10 years. Yes, I know, I'm cringe, I need to grow up, enjoying kids' cartoons is a mental illness, whatever. Look, y'all have to understand that I spent all of my high school years pretending not to like kids shows, and honestly, not for me. I mean, it was hella embarrassing to finally admit to myself that my favorite TV show was literally a show made for toddlers, and initially the thought of telling people made me want to walk into the ocean and become one with the ecosystem, but at the end of the day, no one actually cares. The response was overwhelmingly positive, I made friends with people who shared similar interests, and I learned that I'm much happier just enjoying my comfort show. Oh, but I care that people don't care. That's weird. Most of the hate I get is from teenagers, which is funny because, like I said, I'm a grown adult and I don't care what high schoolers think of me. But some of the hate I get is from actual adults, which is, kind of embarrassing, really. I mean, come on, you're so pressed that someone enjoys something that you took the time out of your day to complain about someone's joy to a bunch of strangers online? Get real. Look, it's been 10 years, the hyperfixation hasn't ended, and if my interests piss you off that bad, you need to touch grass. Rest assured, folks, I knew I would get hate when I created the channel, and I accepted that anyway because I like making videos and talking about my special interests. Many people have asked what I could possibly like about PJ Masks at all, because how could anyone ever like a toddler show? Fortunately for you, one of the first things I did on this channel was make a helpful, informative video all about this subject. Look, I'm not gonna glaze here, I will be the first one to admit that PJ Masks is one of the worst interests I could get stuck with. Autistic special interests are unpredictable, long-term hyperfixations that are out of your control. In addition to this, autistic people don't fit age norms, meaning they may seem mature or immature for their age, as well as have interests that are uncommon for their age group. Neurodivergent and disabled people are often infantilized and criticized for not fitting the idea of what society thinks an adult should look like. Look, in my personal experience, when I come home from a long day of being an adult, the last thing I want to do is watch a serious, mature, boring show made for adults. I want to watch Disney movies and Barbie and Cartoon Network. Kids shows are my regulator. The simple plots, light humor, and colorful characters help me to relax and cope with the outside world, as well as process my emotions and spark creativity. I'm sorry, gray sludge dramas don't inspire me to draw, write, or make videos talking about it. The main thing I have received criticism for is analyzing kids' media. I often get comments like, "It's not that deep, and why are you analyzing a kids show?" First of all, it's always that deep. That's something that people say to turn your brain off. And second of all, I feel like people often forget that these shows are made by adults. I may talk about this show simply because it's entertaining, there really isn't a deeper meaning to my videos, but while we're on the subject, media literacy is needed now more than ever. Just because something is made for kids doesn't mean that it's exempt from criticism. Critical thinking is a skill that is severely lacking in today's world, and it's necessary for children to grow up analyzing media so they don't grow up to take everything at face value and blindly consume propaganda like your Uncle Joe on Facebook. Children aren't stupid, and they shouldn't be treated as such. Their brains are developing faster than ever, and they are soaking up information like sponges. Media has a heavy impact on the development of a child's psyche, so it is necessary to consciously consume media so we know what information we're consuming, and especially what children are consuming. Children's shows shouldn't be pure brain rot. They should be enriching and educational. That being said, I wouldn't recommend PJ Masks to young children because the show is overstimulating and kind of crappy sometimes. I watch it for fun because it's entertaining, stylistically peak, and I resonate with the characters. Would not recommend to anyone under the age of 8. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the recent rise of Bluey in popular culture. Bluey is just a kids show, but many people identify with it and find comfort in it. I think it's a cute show. I'm not really obsessed with it, but it makes me happy to see other people finding joy and community in something. I can't think of a single reason for being mad about someone finding joy in something harmless, can you? To be compared to a child child is not always the insult people think it is. Children are curious, open-minded, joyful little creatures, and as a babysitter, piano teacher, and future parent, I greatly admire what they bring to this world. A disturbing trend I've noticed is that people often drop their negative criticisms of me once I make a self-aware comment. This doesn't make any sense, first of all, and has incredibly harmful implications for those who don't see themselves as cringe. The rise of so-called satirical content on Instagram and TikTok is especially disturbing to me, because more often than not, creators will copy a cringe video beat for beat without changing or even exaggerating anything. And this exact copy of the original video is accepted as comedy because the creator and their audience are consciously making fun of someone else. Sometimes these videos mock problematic behavior, but more often than not, neurodivergent people are the target of these satirical videos. I don't mind getting hate because I am an adult, and being criticized by random people on the internet is what I signed up for when I created the channel. I'm not about to cry over FeetLicker69 calling me lame. I already know I'm cringe and annoying. Tell me something I don't know. If you're one of those people who likes to troll for fun or just be an asshole for no reason, keep in mind that your negative comments might not always be directed at adults. With the increasing technology usage of the digital age, it's harder for kids to separate the internet from reality. On the other side of the screen, there is a living human being with feelings who may be deeply affected by your words, and that person may very well be a child. As harmless as you think it may be to have a little fun teasing someone online, please think before you speak hate. Everyone only gets one life. Please don't risk a child's. So to anyone who may criticize me for not fitting social norms, I am autistic. I am not a child. I am an adult who is currently pursuing my bachelor's degree in sociology. In my career, I hope to create a more accommodating world for both children and adults on the autism spectrum by educating people about autism and fostering acceptance. I spent 19 years of my life disliking myself for being unlikable and sensitive, when in fact, I was just a normal autistic kid. I know it's probably annoying, but I talk about being autistic a lot to bring clarity and comfort to people who may hate others or even themselves for what they don't know are just normal autistic traits. Without this channel, I would not be able to pay for my college education. It's been such a gift to me, and I truly cannot express enough how much I appreciate the support this community has given me. It's okay if you don't like my videos. You don't have to watch them. These videos are specifically for a primarily neurodivergent audience of teens and adults who find comfort in children's shows and other niche interests. In a world where empathy is decreasing and joy is so hard to come by, it makes me smile to see people bonding over similar interests instead of bullying each other. Next time you see someone who's different from you, try taking the time to find out why, and maybe you'll learn something new. Even I have sometimes disabling social anxiety, but as someone who has made it through my teen years and is now in college, I just have to say that whether you like it or not, everyone is considered cringe eventually. I understand that teenagers are especially self-conscious, especially when growing up in an environment where bullying is commonplace. But I just hope you know that what is considered cringe changes all the time. It's not exactly a standard by which to live your life. Hell, if BJ Masks suddenly became trendy overnight like Bluey, my critics would be the first ones to jump on the bandwagon. My job is not to make everyone comfortable. Take the time right now to ask yourself what you're most self-conscious about and deeply consider whether it actually affects anyone negatively. Chances are it doesn't, and you need to be more kind to yourself. There is only one of you, and the world needs the unique perspective you bring to the table. Sorry this isn't like my usual videos, but I've been wanting to rant about this for a while, so I hope you liked my thoughts. And if you didn't, that's fine too. I don't mind as long as you're listening with your brain and forming your own opinions. I love you guys. I may not know you individually, but I truly do care for each of you, and I hope that if you look down on yourself for being different, you can one day find the courage to be authentically you. Do something cringe for your child self who loves you and thinks you're cool. Life is too short to worry about what an inconsistent and unpredictable world thinks about you. Have fun! If no one told you today, I believe in you, I love you, and thank you for watching. Mwah! Kevin out.